Welcome guys to another review. Yes, I'm trying to get in track with a lot of the pending reviews that I have, and today I decided why not check a different kind of IM from the last one that I did, the KBear Ormosia. It's from KBear again, as you can see from the title of the video, but in this case we are going to take a look at KBear's newest offering in the super budget category. We are going to take a look at the KBear Storm. So without further ado, let's get started. So you can find the KBear Storm for around $15-20. It falls in that what I would consider super budget category, you know, with all of the KCs and all of those companies. But here's the IM. So first impressions, I would say it is completely average. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Of course, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth, but this IM made me reconsider how I pretty much score all of the IMs that I do. So in this case, the evaluation is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be changing pretty much my scoring. In this case, instead from going to pretty much 1 to 10, is going to only go from 1 to 5, and it's pretty much very self-explanatory. 1, it is bad. 2, it is mediocre but not that bad. 3 is completely average. 4 is okay, very good, and 5 is great. 5 is not going to be perfect because there are a lot of things that would pretty much determine whether or not an IEM is a 5 out of 5, but to kind of get the idea. Now, as always, thank you very much to KeepHiFi for sending this unit for review. They aren't paying me or anything else to say anything good or bad about this IEM. They are just asking for an honest review. Their website and Amazon links are going to be in the description below. Don't worry, they are not associate links, so you are not giving me any money, but if you want to support the channel, the links are going to be down below. Yeah, without out of the way, let's get started with the audio quality. Now, what I said in the beginning can give you an idea on what I think about in general about the KBear Storm. And let's start with the bass. So bass is completely normal for this price. I would say that is a little bit lighter than expected. So bass doesn't seem to be that strong. Again, with these super budget IEMs, normally you get super B-shaped bassy sounding IEMs, but in reality bass is a little bit more tamer than expected. Again, soft bass doesn't have a lot of impact, nor doesn't have a lot of rumble. So yeah, again, pretty average bass for the price. The only thing that I don't quite like it is that it tends to lag behind. So it is not a super fast bass, so it might bleed a little bit into the mids. So what about the mids? For the mids, it's kind of the same story. It is nothing out of this world, blow me away good, but it is not something throw it in the garbage, discard it, don't buy it, bad. It is completely average. Mids seem to be a little bit recessed, which is to be expected with the sound signature of this IM, but the digital retrieval is okay for the price. Voices are kind of in the same level as instruments, so there might not be a lot of separation when it comes with the instruments against the voices. Instrument separation is average. Overall, mids seem to be on the warmer side of things. Not a lot of resolving prowess with this IM, but again, completely expected for the price. I would say that they are completely acceptable, but I would have liked for a more for a little bit more cleaner sounding mids. And now, what about treble? Treble is kind of the problem, at least for me, with this IM. I don't know if it's my unit or if I really just picked bad songs to test this IM, but treble seems to be on the spicy side. It's kind of on that edge of being a little bit thin and sibilant, but then again, nothing that cannot be solved with EQ or foam ear tips. Treble has a lot of energy behind it, so it's something that I quite like, but in some of my songs actually the treble seemed a little bit weak. Again, I don't know if it was something wrong with my unit or the song that I picked. But yeah, it was this kind of unbalance, unevenness when I tested them. Sometimes the treble sounded a little bit too harsh. Sometimes it didn't. It sounded very dull. So yeah, but I wasn't really disappointed. But then again, these are on the super budget. But yeah, I was expecting something a little bit better because this space is getting really, really competitive with all of the IEMs that have been coming recently. So yeah, treble, what you would expect, a little bit of unevenness, but nothing that I would say is a deal breaker, at least for me. So now, summary. Sound signature is traditional in that sense. It is not super groundbreaking, it is not super experimental. It's your classic B-shaped sounding IM. And yeah, that's the reason why I changed how I evaluate my IMs, because I couldn't give this an 8 because it is not an 8. I cannot give this a 6 or a 7 because it is not that. It is not a bad IM, it is not a great IM, it is just average, if I'm being honest. I'm not saying that it is something that you should go ahead and buy right away, but it's something that you can consider as a gift for someone that is trying to get into this high-end rabbit hole, and you don't want to pretty much give them something super expensive that they might not like. So yeah, average, and that's the best way to describe these IMs. That segues really well into the next category, which is build quality, which is average again. So let me show you the IM. So as you can see, it is a pretty normal average racing IM with a single dynamic driver and your 2-pin connection, and yeah, everything screams average for the build quality. Again, that doesn't mean that is bad nor good. They are comfortable. I would say that this little lip helps a lot with the confidence of this IM. I can use them for a very long time. I also kind of like the design that they have going on, different elevations and all of that. It looks good, don't get me wrong, but yeah, the build quality is not something out of this world. The same goes for the cable, pretty average, 6 core I believe. Feel free to correct me in the comments, with an L-plug shape. Let's see, you have this velcro thingy if you want to, well, store them and just have them roll up. Your fork or Y splitter, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I mean, the cable doesn't feel super offensively thin. It feels about what you would expect for the price. It is on the softer side, which is a nice surprise. As you can see, it doesn't, you know, bounce all over the place because it doesn't retain any memory whatsoever. But then again, nothing out of this world and completely fine by the price. For this price, I wouldn't expect to get like a 16 core gold plated cable with detachable ends and balance and all of that. No, completely acceptable for the price, completely serviceable. You can always change it, and yeah, that would be pretty much it when it comes to the build quality. So, would I recommend the KBear Storm to you? Yes and no. Yes, because I mean, they're cheap. These are great for the price, don't get me wrong. The sound signature might not be for everyone. I think that, again, I don't know if it's my unit or I don't know what's going on, but yeah, it is a little bit uneven. It is classic V-shape, so nothing out of the ordinary. The technicalities are okay, again, nothing out of this world. I would say that the imaging is a little bit weak, but also I would not recommend this because these exist. The QKZ VK4s, and these are the original VK4s, not the reissue that QKZ now has in the wild. They don't sound at all the same. If you can find an original pair of QKZ VK4s, you have a great set of IMs, and that's why I asked KeepHiFi to send them in this colorway, because I mean they are practically the same in the same colorway. Yeah, the QKZ VK4 are far better than the KBear Storm in terms of sound quality and technicalities. Again, don't get me wrong, these are not $1,000 IEMs. These are budget IEMs, so you should set your expectation for that price category. Of course, this cannot compete with the super high-end stuff, as well as this cannot compete with them. But in between these two, and considering what other options you have, the KBear Storm kind of gets put into that in a hard place, let's say, because you have a lot of options, a lot of different flavors of V-shaped, but then again, the VK4s are kind of the undisputed super low budget app champions. But don't allow me to tell you what to buy or what not to buy. The cable, stock cable on the QKZ VK4s is completely garbage. It is super thin and doesn't feel good. And on the other hand, these feel really well made, even though they are resin, plastic, whatever. And yeah, if you are looking for a super nice budget pair of IEMs, these are a great option. They are far more IEMs out there in this price category for me to really compare them. And yeah, again, this is just my opinion, my review. If you are considering buying them, check other reviews. Just don't take mine as the absolute truth. But anyhow, that would be pretty much it for my review of the KBear Storm. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, thank you for your continued support, and thank you for KeepHiFi for still sending me unit for review. And I will see you in the next review, which should be a breakdown of small IEMs. So take care, bye bye.